I mean, it says keep the day holy, and I think really what it should say is it says do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't um, break down and cry or something. I don't know. How can you rest? How can you both rest and not think about what it is that you would make you relax? What you're trying to do is you're trying to get people to be with their family and go out and do things and stuff. I don't have that, and there's a good chance in the future I won't have a whole lot of it, more of it anymore. So for me, it's my vacation is my capacity to be who I am, and that's what I do. I guess people are gonna get that the recording if I publish this. I probably will. I went and masturbated. I got off, and then after that, I kind of blacked out, and I came back to, I just was saying over and over again that to love is this is something recent that I developed was that to love others is to choose to love others. It's not an emotion. It's that and to love others is really just to want to be with others people. Okay, when you choose to be with other people, you are loving people. You're loving others. Okay, and if you do not, I mean, it is the reason why you're here is to choose to love people. Okay, if you cannot offer that, if you can't love others and you are brought here, you do not have, you are not going to be, you're, you will, if you don't do to that capacity, you will not be here long. You see, you will not be able to go to heaven because to be in heaven is to be with others and is to value others. If you do not value others and you do not long to be with others, then there is no reason to have you there because to love God is to love others. Okay? It's to choose to be with others, to choose to do to others what you would have them do to you, and and in that, if you have that capacity to be good to others and to do for others and to be with others, then you are loving God in all enraptured. If you have no capacity to be with others and love others and be with them and you know then you don't belong here. And that basically means you don't belong in heaven. See? So that's the thing. And I mean, I guess at the end of things, whenever you finally die, um, you're not really going up anywhere. You're staying here, but the world, I guess, according to the Bible, gets destroyed. Everything will be destroyed instantly and then recomposed. You know, in a yeah, just super fast. It'll just it won't there won't be even a large bang and crap will be floating through the air and it will probably just be like and that's it. And it's completely different. And the difference is that in the next life there will not be there won't be the energy will be in you and there will be not be any desire to consume anything. There won't be any desire to to do drugs. There won't be any desire to do anything of the sort because you will always have the sense of well-being. You know, the well-being that you try to get when you do a drug or something. That feeling after that drug. What you're doing is you're trying to have well-being because normally you feel so much pain. You feel so much aches and soreness and stuff. That stuff is considered to be part of the sin that's in this world. And when everything changes in a split second, what happens is all the sin gets thrown away, and goes with it the soreness, the aches, the desires to have sex, all of that junk goes out the window because you're going to have a sense of well-being all the time. There won't. It'll be like every day's Christmas Day. You won't feel. You'll feel happiness and joyfulness and stuff, and you won't have any reason to cry because there won't be any pain in the world. There won't be any death. There won't be any desire to kill anything to give yourself satisfaction, like to kill an animal and to eat of its meat in order to satisfy you and get you through the day. That stuff just won't happen anymore. There won't be a desire to even have food because there won't be any desire to eat or consume because you'll have a sense of well-being. You'll be satisfied all the time. And it'll pretty much be the same way it was before, but it will be like you won't have to take a break from making art to go off and eat something and come back. That will not happen anymore. You will just be flowing right through, creating and making stuff and singing and doing whatever it is that you feel like doing at any time. And whenever you express ideas to other people, you won't have to use your mouth. You'll just practically think it, and they will reciprocate it and come back with a response. And you'll do it so quickly. Everybody will be thinking into everybody's thoughts, and just all the things that you long for in this life to do, that when you try to do and it's unsuccessful because somebody just doesn't get it, that will go away. And everybody will completely get what everybody else is thinking. And somebody will discover something and somebody will say, oh wow. And it'll all be like, a bunch of people are sitting around in a circle smoking dope, and they're sitting there, and one guy says something and the other person says, oh yeah, I get that totally, dude. That kind of feeling will be like that all the time. That's what I think is what heaven is going to be like. And it's only going to happen if you have the desire to be there with the other people. But whenever you deny other people being there, when you tell somebody they're going to go to hell for something, that's in effect is you saying, I don't want you in heaven. When you know what's going to happen is just that heaven's not going to want you. That's the reason why you don't want to do that. You don't want to say, we don't want you here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this clip off because I'm I'm guilty of this, and I do it every day in the game. And I tell people I don't care. I wish you go into hell and all that stuff. It isn't any of this. It's this stupid game. It makes people feel so awful all the time. And then on the flip side, you really like. You're just forcing it. But I need to be here because there's gonna be people that don't get the good stuff that I have to say. They don't get it anywhere. And if I'm not there to say the good stuff and for them to understand that I am not this person in this game, this isn't me. Um, that what makes this person that's in this game that's so awful is one that is just a human, and a human that can that can be awful to others. And it isn't my desire to hurt others. It's just that there are hecklers in here, and the hecklers I think are demons, and they pick on you, until you get upset, and then you just jump on them, and they think it's funny whenever you do it. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get everybody to think like them and to do what they're doing. You know, it's in their best interest for everybody to all be doing this together, because what they're doing is they're trying to get everybody not to love other people. And so I guess what hell is a place where everybody hates each other and nobody loves each other, and nobody wants to be. All the people that are in hell are all dismissive of each other and throwing shit at each other. They do it all the time, and nobody ever feels good. They always feel bad all the time. So that's kind of like war. When you're in a war, you're always expressing your hate to everybody that's in the war. And I'm going to do you in, and just watch how I'm going to fuck you up. That's hell. And if there is a place called hell, that's what it's like. And so in this game, we have the capacity to express the love for each other as well as express hatred. And it's possible that this game is pretty much what the world is. And if we don't have somebody in there putting a little bit of light into it, then some people are probably going to go out and kill either somebody else or kill themselves. If there wasn't somebody in there to say something good, it would be really bad. And that's the reason why I guess Jesus says that we need to put light into things. We need to bring the light. Is that if we don't do it, then it won't find its way there. And I didn't start to realize that I was really ruining it for people until one of the guys piped up and said, "Dude, I this is my spring break, and I want to enjoy my spring break." And when he said that, I was just like, "Oh crap, that's me." When I was a kid, and I get my spring break, and I get to enjoy my spring break playing this game. I get to enjoy something, and there's this guy out there who's ruining it for me. Yeah, that's the reason why all the guys are saying to me, "Shut the fuck up." What they're really saying is they're saying that we got enough shit in our own lives, so we don't have to deal with it when you're pushing it at us on this end. But I'm thinking that to some degree, whenever Sunday comes around, for some reason, an angel, I don't know if it's a demon or an angel, jumps into me, I start saying shit. And the shit, I think, helps. And I've heard people, I've had people send me messages saying, "We enjoy your messages. We enjoy what you have to say." And I think what they're really saying is, we enjoy you whenever you're talking, when you're sharing good stuff on Sundays. But because all the other days, you, you you're we're okay with you being a complete idiot and stupid and a dumb fuck the rest of the week, but on that Sunday, whenever somehow an angel or something pops into my body and starts talking all this shit, and then and drops me, I'm just like, oh crap, I am not this person. And I am not. I'm never going to be an evangelist. I'm never going to be wanting millions of dollars to fund my campaign. I'm never going to want to do that, because I know that stuff is all fake, and it's plastic. I just don't want it. And I mean, for me, to get to heaven is the realization of a dream of being like that, and not being the sinful, devilish self that I tend to be when I'm just trying to relax, and I can't relax because I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with communication. I can't communicate people, what we need to do in something. I'm so always motivating. I'm always sharing ideas, and people are always throwing crap at me and saying they don't care. And I'm just like, in my mind, anytime I hear somebody, I don't care, all I'm thinking to myself is, no, you do care. You just don't realize that other people do. And if you did, then you probably would care, but you don't care. And the reason why you don't care is that you've probably been abused and not loved, and you come here to express your dissatisfaction with everything. And I think everybody gets it because they're all doing the same thing. We're all dissatisfied with the world and we want to fix it. But there's no way you're going to be able to fix it by telling everybody that you don't belong here. And there are people think there's some people there that look at me and say you're a pedophile or something, and you're gonna go and abuse children and stuff like that. They don't even understand me at all. That is not my desire on my sexual side. That's not my desire at all. My desire is to fix what I couldn't have the capacity, the relationships I could not have the capacity to have whenever I entered puberty as a teenager. I was not accepted by women or by girls or anything, but people my own age at that time, and I've longed to go back to that, and that's the perversion is that you can't go back to it, you know. But they see it as you're trying to go and have sex with. No, I'm trying to have a relationship that I have lost. That's something I never could have had the capacity to do. In high school is have a relationship with a girl my own age. And so I'm still trying to go back to that. And that's where that attraction comes from. And then there's all this other stuff, the violence in sex and stuff, and the that's all about the frustration of being able to express love and satisfaction and sexual satisfaction with others because they deny you the capacity to have that relationship. You get a satisfaction from seeing the aggressive acts because it's kind of like, look, this is the way it's going to be, and I'm going to do it. And um, and it's kind of like you would deny this to me whenever I was a kid. You deny this to me now. You deny me this always. I don't have the capacity to actually have this satisfaction with a woman because I desire to do it so much, and they do not reciprocate. It drives me up the wall to not be able to express my satisfaction of being with women. This is the reason why I look at porn is because to I'm trying to express to women that I long to be with them. And I long to see that satisfaction in their face of being with them and expressing that sexual love. You see? Because that's what sex is that you're giving of yourself into a woman and seeing the expression of satisfaction on her face, and that reciprocation makes you realize that you long to be there and you're completing each other. And it's my belief that women and men together, we're two parts of the same thing that have been ripped apart. And when we come together and we have sex, we realize that we're one person. We are one person. It's like we're a person that's been ripped apart, and we are not. That's the reason why people always say to me is that, what you need is a girl. The thing is that I have a problem called aphasia. It makes it very hard for me to communicate and reciprocate and interact with anybody, even women. And so because of that, it's not possible for me to actually be in a relationship with a woman and have the things that they think I could be able to do. I can't do that. Um, I can express the ideas, but to reciprocate and bounce back the feelings and everything with a woman, I just don't feel I have the capacity to do that. And so a girl wouldn't fix me. That's the thing that's really stupid about this world is people always say things. All you need is this. All you need is that. All you need is this. That's the devil speaking, because what the devil wants you to do devil's always holding a carrot in front of your face and saying your life would be so much perfect if you had this, and then you're always striving after it and you can never get to it. That's that wanting to always have the next thing, this, then this, and this, and you wouldn't, you'll be so much better if you had this. That whole thing is the devil keeping you in control of him. He wants to always keep you wanting stuff. And if you are always in that desire to have things you can't have, then you will not have a future. You won't be able to get anything done because you'll always be longing after things you can't have. Or you think you can have them, and I mean, that's the thing. And so the best thing to do is just let it go, because I've come to realization that the real evil is power and money. The desire to have wealth and the desire to have power over others is evil. And that's what Satan tries to get us to do all the time, is to control others and to get their money and to have the money to satisfy ourselves. So in essence, you're torturing others, and by through that torture you're satisfying yourself. And that's what Satan longs you to do. And he tried to do it with Jesus, and Jesus said, "No, I'm not part of that, man. I know exactly what's going on down here, and that is not what I'm about." Okay? And so that's what everybody needs to say, even in this game, is that I'm not here to ruin everybody. I'm here to help us win against the other guys. But what I'm saying in this game is that this is war. If you want to be in war, this is war. And war is, hooray for my team, fuck you, the other team. And I'm not saying that that is good. I'm saying that this is war. And so what I'm trying to say is, I'm saying that to think that war is happy and fun is wrong. This is game. This is war. You've ever heard of the video game company called Atari? You know what the Atari means in Japanese? War. They came to the realization that all games are just war, and um, it can be fun, like Monopoly, or playing dominoes against somebody. You feel bad, but you have a friendship with them, and like me and my mom, we play dominoes, and we, at the end of it, if we don't realize that it's just all for fun, it's not going to be happy. You see, I'm sure in heaven there will be games, but I don't think people will be have a vendetta for anybody. It'll be just like, oh man, I can't believe you got me there. Now, for people to feel this way in this game, it would probably be better off if they didn't even have a chat system altogether, so nobody could ever express. But then people would be expressing so much hatred through the violence and what they're doing in the game. But you know, the thing is that the reality of living life in the world is that people are like this to each other all the time. And whether there's a game for it or not, it shows up somewhere. It shows up in when people are talking about Trump or whoever's in control of the world, you know, and everybody wants to rule the world, and that whole thing, that reason for that song, and I'm sure the reason why Tears for Fears put that stuff there, was to help people realize that that's pretty much evil and you don't want it. And the best thing to do is to try to reciprocate everybody by saying, we long to be with you. And I long to be in this game because I really don't have anything else to do all day. There isn't anybody I really know outside of the people that I know. It's really sad, but for me, I think when my parents pass on, I probably won't have much of anybody, and I'll probably be in this game all the time. My hope is that when I go pass on, I don't end up in an environment like this game is. That finally I just get either I just cease to exist, which would be great for me because I just don't want to be at all. In a part of me just doesn't want to be at all. It's kind of like give me the capacity to be with people in an environment like heaven, or just do not give me the capacity to exist. I'd rather have one or the other. I don't want to be tortured forever. I don't think anybody wants to be tortured forever. And when we're in this game, the best we can feel is that we won, and try to feel, try to be good to the others. But the worst you feel is that just how much you hate the other faction. And when you switch factions in this game, people can't imagine how you can be from the other faction because those guys are so evil. And the thing they don't understand is that's the way it feels every time you shift. I mean, if you say I'm going to do the other faction in, and you shift over, you realize that they are having the same problems your faction is, and they're all kind of like trying to do to help each other and to do the other guys in, and and it's really hard to go from to the other faction, keep the same feeling you had when you're on the other faction. And what we're really doing is we're realizing that no matter what end of this game you're looking at, you're still it's it's the same thing, and that to a degree is trying to bend your brain around the idea that everybody's okay on all ends. It's just we're in a war, and this war is is encouraging us to go and killing each other. And that's the need for survival. That war is that way because there's a limited resources, people need to survive, and that the tension on trying to get people on being able to survive is what's keeping people in the war. We don't have that much anymore. Today, people don't have any really reason to be in war, but the thing that's really stupid is every time we bring some president in, he tries to distract us with something like war in order to do other stuff that's important, so we're not getting upset and yelling at him. You see, because he realizes that whenever he took presidency, he became a lion tamer. And what do lion tamers try to do all the time? They try to distract the lions from killing them because they're trying to do something serious, and the lions are impatient and they want to be fed. And and if there's no meat around to eat, they're going to look at the person who's trying to control the show. See, and to be a lion tamer is to keep the lions distracted, and we're the lions. Because if it came to a pressure to a pressure pitch or whatever, and we went out and we were demanding answers and trying to get satisfaction in life, we'd be out on the streets protesting, and it would go from peaceful protestings to riots. And that's what the government's trying to prevent, is trying to prevent us from getting to that level, because that's the natural effect of what survival and what all of this does. Now, people think, well, that God brought this on. It might be the case that we're here to realize what it's like whenever you are in a body that has limited perception of the world. That limited perception is to try to realize all what can go wrong. And this world is an exhibition of what can go wrong in all the ways. We're kind of a spectacle to the angels. The angels would like to do some of the things that they're told they not shouldn't do, because they've been programmed not to do the things that are against what God wants, which is togetherness and stuff. They're the things when you've been told, do not do this. What does a kid do? They always do the things you told them not to do. It's because they don't know what not doing it would get them. Curiosity killed the cat. And it's either curiosity killed the cat because the cat gets into the wrong stuff, or curiosity killed the cat because the cat is is trying hard to learn all this other stuff and wasting a lot of time trying to get into it, and comes to realization 10, 20 years down the road that it was all kind of useless to, to, to pursue that, okay? So curiosity killed the cat, like the pursuit of science, and then at the end of it you realize that science didn't really have any answers for you, and that and science just presented you more questions. Then you're just kind of like, oh, I kind of wish I never pursued this science. You see? There are people that are like that in the world, and it's because you can't get the answers you desire from just going out and researching everything. I mean, if you can't be satisfied with what you're finding or satisfied with the mystery, then you're going to always be searching for something and not finding it. You know, and or you're going to be you will find something, you find satisfaction, but you also find that there's a lot of mystery you can't explain. And that's what belief's for, is to realize that all this mystery, all this beauty and stuff that's there is something you can't, will not be able to get and understand in this world, because there isn't time, and because you've got to fill your belly, and because you're probably going to die from cancer. That you shouldn't have a desire to be here, because you start to also realize that this world is imperfect, and that people are against each other, and there's this dissension and this hatred for other people, and all of that. That's all a part of this environment, and just don't blame other people for what is happening to you in this, because they're all in the same. It's what I tell everybody is that you're knee deep in shit. There's no point there. It doesn't make any sense to toss it. You know, to think that anybody else has got it better. The celebrities, people that get to be really popular, what they lose their privacy. They get chased by paparazzi. They can never go on vacation anywhere and not be alone and not be looked at all the time, because that's what celebrities feel like. And they come to realization that the thing that they long to be all their life is the thing, really the thing that they don't want to be anymore. And that's the reason why they turn to drugs like Michael Jackson, or turn to painkillers. They turn to painkillers. They turn to any kind of drug that can get them the vacation from reality, that they're now the center of attention of the entire world, and they don't want to be, because they know they're not perfect, and and anything they do that's bad just gets it goes into the rumor mill and comes back at them full throttle, and all their friends start changing their perception of them, and they get this. It's kind of like autism. It's in autism, you there's things in the world that you overreact, that your senses overreact to, like sounds, and when you hear those sounds, you can't stand to hear the sounds at all, because your brain doesn't have the capacity to perceive and understand the sounds. And so it's kind of like hearing something really loud, and then you say, "Could you just turn that down? Because I can't handle that." Okay. And you see people homeless on the street, and what they're trying to do is get security. They're trying to hold on to what they've got in order because every day is different, and they can't really be sure if the stuff they have today is the stuff they're going to have tomorrow, because the police are going to come by and clear it all out. And so they're always trying to hold on to some little bit of something that will keep them going through the next day. And eventually they develop the skills to realize what they absolutely need and what they don't need. And it's almost like, to be Christ-like is to actually be homeless. people always think be Christ-like is to is to do all the things that Christ did and stuff. But but to really be Christ-like is to realize you don't need anything. All you need is to be here and to be with others, and to let go of any of the concern and stuff that comes with the police that come in and rip shit away from you. It would be better, though, for people that are in that situation to give them the satisfaction and the rest, to give them a low income housing. And by that, what I mean low income is that you're able to work, come home, and feel satisfied in knowing that for that night and the next morning they can rest, they can watch TV, they can enjoy something, they can be satisfied where they are. They're not in fear that the police are going to come in and take all their stuff and throw it in a bag and send it downtown, and they're going to lose stuff every day. They don't like that feeling. And people don't understand that about homeless. When they look at homeless, they see people are smoking dope and that have ruined their lives and stuff. They don't understand that anybody can fall into that and they could be in that for years. It's like going to prison for years. But you're not in prison. You're in a different kind of prison. And the prison is a social prison. It's a perception of the world that imprisons you in being a failure, okay? And the homeless people realize that they're not failures. Over time, they realize not failures. What they realize is that the culture is screwed up, and the people that are satisfied, that aren't homeless, see homelessness as being a hell, and the homeless people realize that the world's in hell, and they're actually okay. They develop the skills to realize that they're doing okay, and that it would be better if the world recognized that to be like them would be better for them. But you see, they're never going to learn it. And that was the reason why Jesus was with the people who were down and out, is because he understood them better than he understood the people who were chasing after shit. And that in chasing after shit, they were they were throwing people away. They were throwing people out they were basically stepping on and consuming people and spitting them out into the streets, um, poor and not able to satisfy taxes and what, people will not give them love, and those are the people that will end up in heaven. The people who would not give the love and were always ruining people. Those are people who are probably going to end up in hell. And I would probably belong to that club, the other club. And maybe this is just a world to express what I was not, in the previous. Maybe and I'm coming to that realization. And when people are hearing this, who is it hearing this? Is it just Satan's demons that are saying you're getting it, now you're going to realize why you belong here, why you belong in hell? And so that's part of what my brain's thinking is that, oh, I'm not going to better anybody by saying any of this stuff because I'm already in hell.